Today, our guest is the author of a life-saving guide for children with cancer. Frank Kalman is the executive director at Kids Cancer Research Foundation. He and his foundation are working to cure neuroblastoma with an emphasis on non-toxic treatments. Please welcome Frank to our show. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
He's a San Luis Obispo resident, and you have this book, Steps to Hope, a free guide.
Yes.
But let's go back to what got you involved in this in the first place, and it's an experience with your daughter, right?
Right. It started 14 years ago when our 12-year-old daughter was diagnosed with what turns out to be one of the deadliest forms of cancer. At the time, if a child was diagnosed with this disease, she had a chance of 45% probability of survival. And when she relapsed, the doctors pulled me to the side, and the doctor told me that she's not going to make it. My wife and I pulled out the stops, and we zigzagged all over the country, became familiar with all the top centers, top doctors, promising treatments, and I started going to medical conferences. So in that process, we identified the most promising investigators in fighting the disease.
Wow. I mean, so you met a lot of people along the way, not just people in the medical industry, but also kids who were going through cancer as well and going through treatments. And unfortunately, along the way, you met some that passed away, right? Absolutely,
and that is what triggered the creation of our foundation. At the very beginning, we made a lot of friends with a lot of kids that had the same disease and their families. As our daughter was going through her battle, all the kids that we initially became friends with started losing theirs. And when that last child died is when that was 4 years ago, is when we decided that we were going to start the foundation. We knew that pediatric cancer research was horribly underfunded, so that's what triggered the creation of our foundation.
And so you turned pain pretty much into passion, and
Absolutely.
You created the foundation, and then you also created this free guide. So, do you mind quickly just telling us Steps to Hope? What can people find in this book?
Well, it's a product of what we had learned in our 14-year journey. It's what we learned from our own experience, from other parents, adults fighting cancer, and all the medical professionals that have been in the fight. I found out that cancer is far more treacherous than you would ever think. 1/3 of all cancer diagnoses are incorrect. Medical errors make up the number 3 killer in the United States. And probably the most important thing that I learned is which centers and which doctors you see will have a huge impact on the outcome of your disease. So what I learned is that this book will help you identify those centers in one afternoon that are the leaders in the disease that can help you confirm your diagnosis and get their recommendations. You could probably do it remotely in most cases.
Frank, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this. We have your website that we posted on the bottom of the screen there for people to go log on to that and find out how to get this Steps to Hope guide. Thank you so much for your service, and this is definitely crucial for families, adults, and kids to deal with this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.